Hello, my name is Rowdy Roddy Piper, and thank you for downloading Piper's Pit Pod. And thanks for supporting my sponsors. I'm going to talk to the great, from parts unknown in the deepest part of Africa, Kamala today. And we're going to have a lot of fun. But what I've got to do before we talk to him is I got to talk a little football. Football season is here. Fantasy football season is back too. And DraftKings.com is not messing around. They're my favorites. DraftKings.com is America's favorite one-week fantasy football site. You can win a huge prize, cash, every single week. In fact, you can become a millionaire playing at DraftKings.com. And I'm going to give you a free chance to win. Now, listen now. You get free entry into the Million Maker event where first place takes you home $1 million. Now, how do you get a free shot at $1 million? You just go to DraftKings.com right now and enter the promo code PIPER, P-I-P-E-R, .the-I. That's all you got to do. Go to DraftKings.com, enter the promo code PIPER, P-I-P-E-R, that's my name, okay? And you get your free shot at $1 million. $1 million. Secret code PIPER. That's at DraftKings.com. Is instant cash every week. You can play at DraftKings.com and still have your season-long fantasy teams. But with DraftKings, you don't have to wait months to collect your winnings. And with DraftKings, you are not stuck with the same players every week. If your team sucks, you get a new guy. Just like in wrestling. And right now, use the promo code, what is it? PIPER, capital P-I-P-E-R, .the-I, to get a free entry into the Million Maker event. That's PIPER at DraftKings.com. DraftKings.com. Bigger events, bigger winnings, and bigger millionaires. Yeah, the Green Hills of Tyrol. Beautiful tune. Bagpipes are one of the most respected instruments, if not the most respected instrument in the world. And welcome to Piper's Pit at Podcast 1. Holy cow, we got a great show for you. I'm giggling already. First thing I got to do, though, is, you got to pay the bills. That way you guys get this for free. And, you keep listening to the podcast for free. If you do things like, if you go on to Podcast 1 and you click on to Piper's Pit and you want something from Amazon, you just click my Amazon button. Doesn't cost you nothing. You get what you want. The station or Amazon gets what they want, and they kick a couple pennies back to the station, and that allows me to keep this going and free, because it's only going to get better. I got some great ideas for the future that I hope you're going to love. So that RowdyRoddyPiper.com. There's a new whole villain taking over. I'm working on a villain concept here that I just can't tell you yet, but you're going to love it. All out of bubblegum from Rocket Fizz. I'm looking at them. You can get them on the website autographed. The first one that we sold was in Sweden. I didn't know I'm big in Jordan, but in Sweden, I guess I'm big with one person anyway. And that's Ryan and Rob, the owners of Rocket Fizz. They're great guys. And now I'm coming out with a bubble gum, and Heidi Fleiss has nothing on me. All right. Now, what have I forgot to tell you about me? She says for the, people say, last 42 years, Rod, I think you got it covered. So just so I got it right now and quit playing around, you come on to the Podcast One website, and you come to Piper's Pit, that's my show, and push that Amazon button. Going to get my little girl through school, and we really appreciate it. Keeps it free for you. It's a win-win for everybody, and all these different products. We only carry the best. One thing that Honor. You cannot cross a line of honor. And in my business, that's difficult to do. But I keep a family, and I keep a family strong. My family has never had missed a meal, never a raindrop on their head, never an act of violence in their home. And I would bring my family to Rocket Fizz because it's a family thing. It's beautiful. It's like Christmas every day. On my website, the things that are there, they're becoming collector's items. I don't know how much longer. I'm going to die with a sword in my hand. So, it could be 30 years from now or the next fight I get with my wife, who's going to be 30. I'm going to be married 32 years in October. Baby Jesus. And I'm old and 45. And I love her. And I got 4 of the best kids in the world. Now, if I haven't plugged myself enough, but I really need you to do this. Because, I'm Roddy Piper. And I'm going to bring, for Halloween, I want to do a podcast from one of the 10 most haunted places in America. Trying to give you new stuff. The gentleman that I got coming up, he's, what a story, a true story. His name is Kamala. And, the gentleman, he's got diabetes and, he's lost both his legs. He was great in the ring. He's the nicest guy. His attitude to look towards life is nothing but fun. And there's you got to hear this podcast I'm about to have with him, because I talked with him for about 5 minutes, and then I have to introduce him and do this business here. Here's another really important thing. My producer, Stacy, I'm not kidding you. I'm high maintenance, and she works so hard to make sure all this stuff comes to you guys. I need to give her the credit where the credit's due. Okay, with Kamala, before he comes on, I wanted to tell you this because I didn't want to hit it on the air, is Kamala, after all he's given to the business of professional wrestling, because of diabetes, lost his legs to the knees, okay? He's on dialysis. You would never know it. He's just so grateful for everything. He's got a book, and his book's called Kamala Speaks, because he always had a manager. He was always going, and what bothered me is I understood him, but I was the only one. And we need to do this for him, okay? They've got a book, and they need to get it to the first printing. To do that, they need your help. If you would go to Kickstarter.com and look for Kamala Speaks, the book, he just needs 425 books pre-ordered for them to get it published into you. And I'm telling you, this guy's life, I didn't know about that. He was the son of a sharecropper. Some tragedies that this guy has overcome. So I'm going to say it one more time, and then I'm going to introduce him. But I wanted to say this because he's not hearing it yet, and I don't want to embarrass the man because he's one of those proud men. Please go to Kickstarter.com and pre-order the book Kamala Speaks. It's only 425 books. What do we got? 300 million people in the United States and around the world, another billion that's listening to this. Well, it's a little bit of exaggeration. There's 2 or 3. Let's do it. Because it goes to him and it helps him out, and it also helps him pay some medical bills. Okay, enough said. I don't want him to hear that. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, from Uganda, with his manager, Kimchi, the Great Kamala. Why do you come to the land of the Zulu? Right after the break. Okay, I need to know if you've tried DDP yoga yet. Well, you should, because DDP yoga was created by my friend, Diamond Dallas Page. He came up with DDP yoga after he got hurt in the ring and almost couldn't wrestle anymore, rest of his life. And DDP yoga ain't your mama's yoga either. No, this is a cardio workout. It'll get your heart rate going. DDP Yoga builds strength and flexibility, and it's easy on the joints too. DDP has already helped thousands of people around the world, and now he can do the same for you. Here's your chance to try DDP Yoga. Diamond Dallas Page is offering you, my listeners, a great deal on the Max Pack. It's 15 workouts that anyone can do. It's got a nutritional guide with it, a meal planner, recipes. Just go to ddpyoga.com/Piper, Piper. That's ddpyoga.com/Piper, Piper. Take advantage of a special offer only available to my listeners. One more time now. That's ddpyoga.com/Piper. You can also go to podcast1.com. Click on the Keep Our Podcasts Free banner, and then click on Piper's Pit. I'll take you straight to DDP Yoga. Not only is he my friend, he's saving my joints and my life. And I love him. Get it soon. Hey, lads. It's that time of week again. Soldier who wandered far away. That particular tune there is called The Green Hills of Tyrol. And it's actually a tune that makes you surrender at our retreat. But with me, I've got a man that I remember only with all the love in the world has never retreated from anything in his life. And what a life. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the one and only Kamala! Oh, baby Jesus, you're scaring the death out of me. My brother. Yeah, you are always...
Piper, man, how you doing?
Holy cow, I tell you, I've been raising 4 kids and in our business, and I've been married almost 32 years now, and I'm old. I'm 0-45 with her, so I'm alive, beat cancer, that kind of stuff.
Great.
Yeah. But I remember back, you were one of the sweetest guys. For as much damage as you could have done, you were just, your attitude was just so positive, and you just like, I don't have to, I'm not saying this because we're on the air, I mean it. I loved you.
Yeah.
We always got along great.
We did.
You're just a real good guy. But I'll be honest, I didn't know a lot about your background. I was born in a place called Saskatoon. It's like 100 below, and in this. And
I've been there.
You've been there. See, so you good reason to leave, right? So where were you born, bud? Where were you born?
I was born in Mississippi, Somerville, Mississippi.
Nice in Mississippi. And where did you go to school?
I went to school in a little place called Coldwater, Mississippi.
I think I might have wrestled there.
I don't know. It's so small.
So maybe not. Maybe I was just doing a little time for speeding there. I don't know.
That's possible.
That's possible. Holy cow, brother. So, okay. My goodness gracious. As you were growing up in school, it wasn't the easiest days for you. That it seems like in looking at your history that kids were on your butt. You were fighting with kids. I'm not sure. You were hungry. Well, I understand that. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, that's true. I grew up, I'm the son of a sharecropper. Sharecroppers, when they shared farms and things with other people like that. So we didn't have any money, and we raised a lot of our food. And when a lot of the kids that was fortunate was in school, well, I was out of school helping do farm work in order to help my mom to to take care of my younger sisters. So,
how many sisters did you have?
I had 4.
Wow.
And it's just 2 of us now, me and one sister.
God bless.
Yeah, thank you. So anyway, they looked down on me, and when I did go to school, they would laugh at me, laugh at the clothes and things I wear, and grab on them, pulling on them. So it's one guy did that he did it for about 4 or 5 years, maybe longer. And I finally got tired of it. So I walked up and I got this big iron that they closed the windows with.
Yeah.
And he was laughing because he didn't think I would do nothing. So anyway, I got that big iron. I came back and I hit him with all I had, and it broke his arm and knocked him and the desk over. And it scared me, so I went to run, and one of my classmates was coming in, and she closed the door, and by that time he was on me with one arm. And I think I like to kill him then.
But this is after 5 and 6 years of him doing this to you?
Yeah, because, he was like a bully.
Yeah, I hate a bully.
Yeah, that's what he was. So, anyway...
So then was that the first time that you actually let some anger out and realized how strong you are?
Yeah, that was the first time. That was the first time ever doing that. Yeah.
Gotcha. So as you're going along, as I'm looking, in Mississippi, at the time you were going to school and stuff, I think that might have been a tough one. I think the police down in Mississippi at that time, I've been around. They weren't.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Did they get on your butt back then? Leave you alone, or how did that work out with you?
You mean the police?
Yeah.
Oh no, they stayed on me because I was always doing something. Now I didn't really have to do that, but I did it anyway. Like breaking in the schoolhouse, stealing cookies and chocolate milk.
I see one here where you're stealing watermelons off the porch. I go, that's my Kamala.
Yeah.
And was it just a way of rebelling against being like, like I grew up poor also. So I understand. Was that just a way of, just like, here, take this? Your only way of rebelling at that time?
Yeah, I guess so. And then, like some of the things I just did it because I could do. So it was a couple of friends. I remember they used to keep the watermelons out on the street at night, and they had one police. And this police, he sit around town all night in his car. But the telephone back then was on a telephone pole. It was a pay phone, but it was just on a pole.
Yeah.
And anyway, when you call the police, you run out to that pole and answer. So what we did was call the police. And we was at another phone booth where we could sing it. And we called him, and he ran out to the pole, and we told him that some guy that can kill another guy. Told him where it was and everything. And when he got in his car, he took off, spinning his wheel with his lights on. And as he was getting out of town, we were getting the watermelons off the street.
So you see, that's the fun in you.
Yeah.
You're fun. When I saw you I don't know. I got that little kid fun thing that you got going. You're never a weeper or oh poor me. You've always been upbeat, and I can see you doing that. And then the teachers that in your school as you were growing up, did they were they good to you? Did they try to get you an education that you wanted, or where were you coming from just at that time?
Yeah, they did, and they always told me, so Now, they call me by my last name, Harris. Now, Harris can learn. He's capable of learning, and he's smart, but he just won't. So when they told me that, then I knew then that I could learn if I wanted to. So when they wanted me to get my lesson, when I wanted to get my lesson, I would get it and beat everybody in the classroom. But so you
knew it. You knew it.
Yeah.
So what? Okay. So now you're in. Did you finish high school?
No, I didn't.
Well, you're in good company there, buddy. The only thing kept me out of college was high school. You know. What?
Yeah, I didn't even finish high school.
Yeah, I hear you. So then, where did you go from? You know, growing up, you grew up hard. I don't want to be disrespectful and talk about something that's too close to.
No, it's okay.
Yeah. Oh, well, then your dad. Tell me about your dad. Well.
I didn't really know him, but I guess I was about 4 years old, but my mom used to talk about him a lot. He was gambling. You know, they go down in the woods and shoot dice, you know.
Yeah.
And that was a big thing then, and it was against the law. And, anyway, so they was gambling, and they got into it. And this guy got up, and he shot my dad. And he shot another guy. He shot two.
He shot
and, shot my dad right through his overall strap.
Uh-oh.
And, so I grew up without a dad.
What age were you when this happened?
I was about 4, I believe.
Oh, baby Jesus.
Yeah.
Ouch. And so Dad's gone, and there's Mom and the sisters, and you're going to school. You got this guy tugging all over you, 5 or 6 years. You're fighting in school. You're stealing just to rebel, I guess.
Right.
What time did you start to take an interest in pro wrestling in your life? Like, did you watch it as a young boy or while you were going through this?
Yeah, this was after I had gone to Florida. I used to watch it a lot.
Out of Florida, okay.
Yeah, I loved watching wrestling. I never did want to be a wrestler, but I loved watching wrestling. I used to watch, like the Briscoe brothers.
Yeah.
They were my favorite. Big Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah, just the son of a plumber.
All of those guys. Man, and it was so weird. I ended up working with Dusty Rhodes, a guy I used to pay to go and see.
So then, who's the first guy that from the industry of professional wrestling that said, "Hey, James, why don't you come in the ring?" Or how did that happen? How did you first kind of get in contact with professional wrestling where you wanted to do it?
Well, what happened is I moved from Florida to Ann Arbor, Michigan, and I was living with my sister, and I was looking for a job, and I got disgusted. My sister's boyfriend was taking me around because I didn't have a car to try to find me a job. And after I couldn't find a job, I got disgusted. I told him, I said, I just ought to go and wrestle. I didn't mean it. And he told us,
it was just a throwaway, right?
Yeah. He said, well, I'm going to pick you right now. And that's when he took me to Bobo Bazille's house. But Bobo was wrong. So he took me to his good friend, Taylor Tim. And that's how I started working out. Yeah, they started working me out. And
I loved Bobo was like one of my dads. And in St. Louis, I remember I was like 15, 16 years old, and I was, of course, how Bobo looked, and his big chest, and he was a beautiful man. And I said to Bobo, I said, "Excuse me, sir," I said, I'm having trouble gaining weight, and what should I do with my workouts? He goes, "Pullovers. Just keep doing pullovers." I must have done pullovers for the next 2 years. Did you finally hook up with Bobo?
Yeah. When he came into town, Tanner Tim took me to meet him. And so I met him, and in that same day that we met, Bobo had a show that he was running, and he had a wrestling ring, so I went with him to help some of the guys set the wrestling rings up. So that's how I got to meet Bobo.
Nice. And how was he? Did you hit it off right from the beginning, or did you have to fight for it?
No. Well, what happened after I went to the matches a few times, I always thought it was real, and even when I was with Bobo, until one time he was working with the Sheik, where I got the wrestling the Sheik,
yes.
And the Sheik was sticking him with this fork. But I didn't want to get in the ring to hit him, though, but I didn't like it. So after the matches was over with that night, then Bobo was on his way to the truck, me, Bobo, and Tanner Tim, and here come the Sheik.
Yeah.
And so he was behind us. I thought he finna tie us. So there come that Sheik. There come the Sheik. So I walked, I was past, I went off and left Bobo, and they laughed at me. I kind of wondered what were they laughing about, but it still didn't smart me up.
The dogs, right? And the Sheik, that's Eddie Ferret, right? That's just for you folks.
Yeah, Eddie Ferret.
Yeah, not the Iron Sheik, Eddie Ferret, which is a whole different ball of wax.
Right.
So they never, that's typical. As much as I love Bobo, that's what they did to me too. They never smartened me up. They would call high spots that were impossible in the ring to do, and they enjoyed watching me suffer.
Yeah, they did. They had a ball.
So then, like in the Great Mephisto and Percy Pringles, holy cow!
Yeah,
is that once? Look, let me just not get ahead of myself here. So you're with Bobo and the Sheik, and boom, you were out of there. And did you just keep coming back, and they finally embraced you, or just how did we get in the ring?
Well, what happened was I kept training with Tanner Tim in the ring, but then it came this big snow up there, and I wasn't used to that much snow.
No, sir.
So I left and moved to Arkansas. And I asked Bobo, I said, Bobo, who can I get to train me, finish training me when I get to Arkansas? He told me, said, try Nick Goulas.
Nick Goulas?
Yeah, that's way up.
Holy cow, okay. Baby Jesus. So you were trained by Nick Goulas?
No.
Okay.
So because I was too far from him, so I called the YMCA, and there was a guy called Mario Galento, and he's the one that trained me.
Holy cow! Are you bringing up some names from the past? Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So then, who did you have your first match with, and what name did you go under?
Well, I went under the name of Sugar Bear Harris.
Nice.
What happened is what they used to call me when I was playing a little football in school. And so when I went down, they told me to go and meet with the great Mephisto. So I went down to Greenwood, Mississippi to meet with Mephisto, but I had seen him on TV. I knew he would throw that fire. But see, I still wasn't smart. And so when I went in,
really sucks.
See Mephisto. He was sitting in a little office, so I went in to see him, and I spoke to him, and he said, come on in. Mario told me you was coming. And I went in, and I was standing up talking to him, and I wasn't for sure what that guy might would do, so he told me, said, pull your shirt off, let me look at you.
Yeah.
I said, pull my shirt off, because I thought he might throw that fire and run this big old belly.
I love it. So you pulled your shirt off, and he says, you're hired?
Yeah, I pulled my shirt off, and he looked at me, he said, yeah. He said, what name you want to use? I told him Sugar Bear. So he said, yeah, that'll be a good heel name, Sugar Bear. So that was my first name.
Nice.
And he was the first one that I ever worked with, first match.
With the great Mephisto?
Yeah, the great Mephisto.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
That's for the audience that's listening. Like, it doesn't come any more hardcore than what the great Kamala, James Harris, is talking about right now. You're talking about the great Mephisto and Bobo Brazil. I don't know how we didn't share the same car here, because we went through the same kind of system.
Yeah.
And then Percy Pringle. Where does he go? He's always beating. What was he doing? He's always beating you up, or what's with Percy in your career in the early?
Yeah, well, Percy was in the business before I was, and so when I went down to see Mephisto, after about a month or so, they put me with Percy and had Percy to manage me.
Gotcha.
And so he told me, now Mephisto told me, we're gonna change your name now. And they changed it to Ugly Bear Harris.
Oh, thanks a lot.
Yeah.
A little brutal.
But, but I liked it, though. I like stuff like that. So he changed it to Ugly Bear Harris, and Percy was always promising me a big Cadillac and all that kind of stuff. So finally, after about a month, he brought me a hubcap in. He said, we on our way. We on our way. And stuff like that.
Baby Jesus. And then I heard that you were in a battle royal, and the money, I think the prize money was $2,500.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, that's true.
And you won. You wanted your money. Is that?
Yeah, I won the battle royal, and they told me to. So after you win the battle royal, I want you to jump up and down with joy. You happy?
Yeah.
They didn't have to tell me that. With $2,500, I was jumping.
You didn't need that direction, right? $2,500 gets me jumping just fine.
Yeah, and then I ran back to the and my girlfriend was at the fence.
Yeah,
it was a fence back there. It was inside the Coliseum though. So we met. We met at this fence, and I told her, I said, baby, we're going to get some new tires on the car and all that kind of stuff. So,
yeah.
Anyway, when I got in the dressing room, and they were paying everybody, all paying them $40, and when they got to me, I was looking for a whole bunch, and they gave me $40. I said, some kind of mistake had happened. I won the battle royal. And they said, it's not. You don't win the money. It's just a gimmick. That broke my heart.
Oh, baby. I got to take a break, and I could do this for 4 hours. I got to take a break. We'll be right back with the great Kamala, my friend.
It's time to play the game because Triple H is on Talk is Jericho. The biggest guest in podcast history is on my show. We're talking about the Click, Road Stories with Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, Shawn Michaels, Hose Wagons, Stephanie McMahon, Vince McMahon. Nothing is left uncovered. It's 2 parts. Triple H on Talk is Jericho. Download it now at podcast1.com.
Nice. Holy cow. So now, the ugly sugar bear, and you wanted your $2,500, and then, you shot a gun trying to get the money, or how did that one work? You wanted your $2,500. Is that?
I wanted it. I wanted it, but it was guys like Tom Jones and Poke Chop Cash. They was telling me, so no, you don't get that money. That's just a gimmick. You don't get the money.
Broke your heart.
I told them, it ain't no gimmick with me. I want that money. But anyway, they finally got me calmed down, and from then on, it was $40 a night anyway.
I hear you. Holy cow.
Yeah.
You're just so full of pure wonderfulness. I love you. Let's talk a little bit when you were first coming in, because I saw on some notes here about that, and I know this is true. Back in the days of the territories, for you the folks that maybe not familiar with that, each territory, the territories were kind of like the Northwest was a territory, Frisco was a territory, L.A., Texas, Oklahoma, and it was like the country was all divided up. Canada was divided up. The overseas was divided up. And, every territory had, for instance, Bobo Brazil, and he would headbutt. I think it was called the Cocoa Butt with Bobo.
Right.
And boom, and each territory also had a Japanese guy that was, but it was like you had a token Japanese guy and a token black guy, and then everything else was run. And I guess there are a couple of ways of looking at it. If they had, like, I remember Pork Chop Cash. He was a great guy, but it's like if they had too many. They wouldn't have too many black guys in one territory at a time. They kind of kept them as a novelty with the headbutt. You could consider that, I guess, kind of racist. Is that how you felt about it, or did you run into that problem, or did you not bother you at all?
Yeah, I ran into that problem, but it really wasn't a problem to me because I thought that's the way it was supposed to go. So it didn't really bother me because they used to tell me, I used to call the territory and they tell me, well, we got one black in here, and just as soon as he finishes up, we'll consider you.
Huh.
So I just never did understand it, but I thought that was the way it was supposed to go.
Holy cow. And was Mephisto, no, who was managing you again? Was it Percy Pringle?
Percy Pringle, yeah.
Yeah, which for those is Paul Bearer. Just, we love you, Paul.
Yeah.
Okay, so now, poor guy, man. You didn't get your $2,500, and they broke your heart. What do you mean it's a gimmick? It's like, and like even your mom wasn't smart to the business.
No, she wasn't.
Oh, so she must have worried sick about you.
She did. And I remember once, that was before we had cell phones. We didn't have one anyway. And I was home, and Andre called the house for me. And Mama knew I was wrestling against Andre.
Yeah.
And so she told me, that old, she didn't call him a giant, she called him a joint. That old joint called me. And I told him, you didn't even stay here, because all he want to do is start something, fight folks,
Mama was loving you, right? She taking care of her boy.
Yeah.
Moms are the greatest. Wow.
Right.
Okay,
yeah.
So now, I don't want to get ahead of myself. This is incredibly interesting. Nobody really gets into this stuff. With Kamala. And where we're at here for the audience is like, if you could understand how the dressing rooms were, where some of them, they didn't have showers, and the old-timers took great joy, just as Kamala was telling us about, dropping. One of the things they do to me is, hey, kid, you're a baby face, we'll drop you off at the store. The arena's around the corner. And the arena would be like 25 miles away. And I'd be hitchhiking in the car, taking off my clothes, putting my kilt on. This guy, they were horrible. They were horrible.
Yeah.
Oh, and so you went through all this stuff. You're just such a nice guy. Baby Jesus, such a nice guy, man.
Yeah.
I know, so sincere about that. Okay, so, you're rolling, and you're getting better and better, and you come to Memphis. How did the creation of Kamala come about? How did you get there?
Time,
it's a stretch from Sugar Bear, okay?
Yeah. Well, what happened? I was living in London, and so after I got my ankle broke over there, then I came back home, which I had been over there about a year, I believe.
Yeah.
So I came home, and then all my stuff that I had over there, I had it shipped by sea because it was shipped. It was cheaper. So it was taking a while they said it was going to take 30 days. So I went to Memphis to see a guy called the Dream Machine about me some wrestling tights and boots and stuff like that, just in case. So that's when I met Jerry Lawler, and I had met them before. That's when I saw Jerry Lawler and Jerry Jarrett. And they said, can I help you? They didn't want me to go in the dressing room.
Gotcha.
And I said, yeah, I'm looking for the Dream Machine. They said, who are you? I told them, I said, I'm Sugar Bear Eric. You remember I had hair when I was here before. And he said, oh, yeah. He said, well, look, you looking for work? I said, yeah, just as soon as my ankle get well. And but I was walking on it. They said, well, I tell you what, you go home and don't let the people see you. And I'm going to give you a call Wednesday, and you're going to make more money than you ever made in your life.
Now, I'm sorry, who told you to go home and said this?
Jerry Lawler.
Jerry Lawler. So basically, stick with me, kid, and I'll have you farting through silk.
Yeah.
That's what they told me. I'm still waiting for the silk. I got the farting down.
Me too.
Okay, so Lawler says, don't let anybody see you. Just go home and boom, what happens?
Yeah, so that Wednesday he called me. Excuse me.
Sure.
So he called me, and I went to, told me to come to Hendersonville, Tennessee. And after I got there, excuse me, I'm sorry.
No problem.
So after I got there, to Hendersonville, they told me, so we got a gimmick for you, and I hope you don't be ashamed of it. So anyway, Lola said, you mind shaving your mustache off? I said, no. So they shaved my mustache off, and they started painting me. And he started painting me, and then I looked in the mirror. He said, you ashamed of that? I said, not at all. And then they come out with this skirt, and they put this skirt on me. And after they put the skirt on me, we went down by the pond, and we made this little vignette where it looked like I was in Africa, down by the pool. Yeah. And that's how it got started.
And who came up with the name Kamala?
Jerry Lawler.
Jerry Lawler. And
Jerry Lawler did.
Didn't he play some kind of a rib on you? What was it? Didn't?
Yeah, he did. I had just worked with him that night in Nashville, and I was on my way home back to Mississippi.
Yeah.
And they saw me, and what happened? Lawler pulled me over. He had a blue light in his car, so he pulled me over. And when he pulled me over, he said, "Get out your car." He had a speaker. Get out your car.
Oh.
And I got out of my car. Walk this way. Don't look at me. And so he told me to turn around and put your hands on top of the car. So I put my hands on top of the car, and I stood there for a while. Turn your head the other way. Yeah, he told me to turn your head the other way. So I turned my head, and he came up there, and he ran his hands up my leg, and he kind of hit my balls. And so, don't move. So he went back down my leg and come back up again. He hit him again. And then after that, he put both hands on my shoulder. I said, no, not this now. No. And then that's when I turned around and I said, Jerry Lawler. Oh, they laughed. Well, man, I was relieved, but it wasn't long because I had beer in the car.
There was no time to be mad. You're so relieved. They would have been good at the TSA, those that Jerry would have gone through the airports. What was they selling Rolex watches for sale, Plowboy, or standing up to Plowboy? What was that?
Yeah, I heard he did, and I heard he had a store right here in Huntsville at one time where he was selling Rolex watches, but I never did go to it, and I never saw any of the watches. Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great stuff. So, now here's the guy, and so your career, obviously when you got in there as Kamala, people took note. You drew a lot of money.
Yeah.
You drew a lot of money before you got to the WWF or WWE, whatever it was at the time.
Yeah.
And I see that you were in the Mid-South with a gentleman named Skandar Akbar. And
yeah.
holy God. Now, I've sat next to Skandor when I was young, and he would talk out loud to himself. Mother of mercy. Da, da, da. Oh, where am I going to go? Where am I going to go? Mother of mercy. I thought, this guy's crazy. I do it now. I've turned into Skandor Akbar. Baby Jesus. So, holy cow. How did you and Skandor, he was your mentor because he did know what he was doing?
Yes, he did, and I tell you, he was a good friend as well as my manager too. But he was a good friend. He helped me. He was always encouraging. Do this. Don't spend all your money. Buy yourself a home, and that was encouraging to me, and that's exactly what I did. I did just what he told me, when I was in Mid-South.
Good job. Yeah, and always protect your real estate, your gimmick. Always protect it.
Right.
Body slamming of fans. Did you just grab fans and start body slamming them? What's that about?
No, I never body slamming. I can't remember body slamming into the fan.
Is it no? What about the girl that pulled up your skirt and sued Bill Watts?
Oh yeah.
Great stuff, man.
Yeah, they had this rope around the ring, and that was our playpen. The rope, like a barricade, but it was a rope. And so I was outside the ring, and this girl, I had my back turned. She reached over and pulled my skirt up. So when she pulled my skirt up, I turned around and I snatched her blouse down.
Gotcha.
And when I snatched her blouse down, all those big blue, I said, ooh. And I almost killed my gimmick.
Oops, my bad. Party foul. Holy cow. And so did you work in Oklahoma under Watts?
I did, yeah. I did.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
How did that work out for you? A lot of miles there. A lot of miles.
Yeah. Miles from Louisiana all the way up to Oklahoma. And, they was all driving miles. So, but anyway, it was real good. It was real good because Akbar would drive and Friday would drive, and we'd laugh and talk, and they didn't allow me. Yeah, they didn't allow me on the wheel because of my gimmick.
Gotcha. And
I liked it.
I learned so much in those miles. Those old timers would drill me and drill me and drill me, but I got so much. I hated it at the time. It was like, you've told me this story 18 times. And they were thinking, and as soon as you catch on, we'll stop telling it.
Yeah.
I didn't realize I was the dummy. It's like, and my job was to open the beer and make sure they all had beer and, get naked in the trunk. So then how long did you work like Memphis and the Mid-South? How long did you work those territories in Watts?
No.
Yeah, how long?
I was just in Memphis about 4 months, I believe. And after that, I went to Louisiana for Watts. And I stayed with Watts, I believe, pretty close to a year and a half.
Wow. Good run.
Yeah.
Good run with
Yes,
Watts.
it was. Oh, man, yes, it was. I hated to leave. Yeah.
And why did you leave? Did you leave because there was better opportunities? Were they changing crew? And yeah. Were you on top?
Yeah, they were changing crew. Yeah, I was on top. And he told me, sir, I don't want to burn you out, so I'm sending you to Dallas with the Von Aries. You'll be down there for a while. They're going to treat you just the way I treat you. And they did. They treated me real good down in Dallas.
Did you stay at the Alamo Plaza Hotel, perchance? I did.
I have stayed at the Alamo.
You know, they don't vacuum. They don't vacuum. They just put another layer of carpet on. I'm the only guy. I'm the only guy to get kicked out of the Alamo Plaza Hotel because I had a dog, a pit bull. It was a beautiful dog. I named him K-Faven. And the owner of the Alamo Plaza had a poodle, and my dog ate his poodle. So now I'm out on the street in a Vega, you know, and all the boys, and like, you got to see the Alamo Plaza Motel. It was built just after the Alamo got taken over. And it's like, oh, baby Jesus, but a lot of fun stuff there. A lot of fun stuff.
Yeah, I knew it was,
Yeah. And now, you know, for those people that, you know, because I'm kind of getting to a point I see here in your career with, here's something that's just that the people need to know about Kamala. If you watch Kamala, you know, go to YouTube and like watch him when he had a manager, Dr. I can't remember his name, Dr. something.
Dr. Harvey Whippleman?
Yeah, that's it, Dr. Harvey Whippleman. And I don't want to get that far just yet, but when Kamala came out, I'm telling you, look, there's one clip I saw. There was this little girl, and, you know, hey, we all got children, so, you know, this isn't about, but this little girl in the audience, and you were far away from the little girl, but the little girl just broke down into tears of being scared. It's true, and you know, because your head, you'd be swaying, and, you know, and you'd be speaking, the only thing that bothered me is I understood what you said. I was the only one, though. You know, and you pounding your tummy, and like, and you know, a formidable force. You did that better than anybody. That, you know, you had it all together there.
I tried.
You were great. So just before we get to the whole WWE run, so Andre, did you not get along with Andre?
I did, but now during Watch territory, the first time I ever worked with Andre was in Oklahoma City, and Andre. He's kind of temperamental, but I didn't know that. So anyway, we did a spot, and I must mess the spot up. He called me a dumb SOB, and after he did that, he pushed me up off. He got up and he nailed me. So when he nailed me, then I lit into him. I mean, I lit into him with all I had. And I beat him down back in the corner, not down because he was still standing up, but I beat him back in the corner. He was covering up.
Yeah.
And after that, we finished the match. And the next day, we was in Baton Rouge where we could go from dressing room to dressing room and talk to one another. So when I got there, I had old 357 Magnum, and I stuck it right off in my pocket. And I went across over there to Andre's dressing room. Yep. And Dick Murdoch was standing there, so I stuck my finger on Andre's nose, and I said, "Don't you ever." And he throwed up both hands. But, you know, not because of the gun, because he didn't see the gun. And, I told him, I said, "Don't you ever do that again." He throwed up both hands. I sorry, boss. I sorry. I don't tink. So when I tell you what, MF, you better get the tinking from now on. And and after that, I ain't had no more trouble with Andre. I wrestled the next night after that, and
I guess
throughout everywhere I went with Andre, and I didn't have no problem.
I bet you didn't.
But I never did trust that big giant, because he was a giant.
He was a real giant in our day.
Yeah, he was a real giant.
And he was strong.
Ooh, man. You know, back in the 70s, I worked with a bear just one time, and you could feel an animal strength.
Yeah.
And when I locked up with Andre, that brought back memory. That was animal strength there.
That was animal strength there, yeah. Same kind of. So did you fight the same bear I did, Victor?
No, this was Virginia. It was old female bear.
We're comparing. We're comparing bears we fought. Giants and bears. This is where Kamala and Piper come from. So then, wow. you set Andre on the right path, and you're rolling, and then you roll into the WWF. What was it? Was that about 86?
That was 84.
84.
Yeah, that was in 84. I had gone to the Crockett promotion, and that didn't work out. I stayed there three months. And Gary Hart, he called me up and told me that Vince was looking for me. And
Gary Hart, holy cow!
Yeah. So anyway, he gave me Vince's number, and I called him up. And Vince told me, so I'd like for you to come in. He said, somebody close to my heart recommended you, and they want you to come in and work with them. And I said, who is that? He said, Andre the Giant. I said, I guess he going to sit on himself. I guess he going to get me up there and beat me up.
Yes. But you earned his respect.
Yeah, I did, and I didn't have no more problem with Andre. Didn't care where I worked with him at.
Yeah.
And I've seen him do other people bad, but I never did have that no problem.
It's interesting, when you tell me that story with Andre, and the fact that Andre later would ask for you. That's an Andre move. Andre was Andre, but he was a good Giant mostly.
Yeah.
Mostly. And just the fact that he would go through that and change territories and then ask for you, that's a huge feather in your cap for who you are as a man and a performer. That's huge.
Right.
Right. And well-deserved.
You
got to stick with me. I got to take a break, but please don't go away. Got some of the best stuff to come. We'll be right back with the great Kamala after this break. TrueCar.com is changing car buying forever. Yes, every day TrueCar users receive negotiation-free, guaranteed savings. Some features not available in all states. In the first 3 months of the year, over 126,000 cars were sold by the TrueCar Certified Dealer Network. TrueCar users save an average of $3,078 off MSRP. When you're ready to buy a car, just follow these 3 easy steps. First, go to TrueCar.com and find out what other people paid for the car you're looking for. Then register at TrueCar.com to see upfront price information and lock in your savings. Third step is simple. Just print out the TrueCar Savings Certificate. Take it to the TrueCar Certified Dealer for a better, hassle-free car buying experience. Remember, every day, TrueCar users receive negotiation-free, guaranteed savings. Save time, save money, and never overpay. Visit TrueCar.com today. That's TrueCar.com. Yeah! Yeah, baby! Oh, welcome back. Welcome back to Piper's Pit at Podcast One. And my guest that I'm honored to have is he's a man's man. He's Kamala, the great Kamala. And we've been talking to him and we were just talking about Kamala and Andre and how Andre requested Kamala come up to a territory so Andre could work with Kamala because of the respect he had for Kamala from an incident that happened before. And it shows you like you had two good men. And it's not a skirt, Kamala, it's a kilt. If you were working with me, you and I could have come down when I'd play the bagpipes. I would have put a kilt on you, baby. We would have tore it up. Okay, so it was 84 is when you came to the WWF?
Yeah, it was 84.
And I'm sorry if I've asked it. Who was it that called you to the WWF? Gary Hart?
Gary Hart told me that Vince had called him trying to get in touch with me. So Gary Hart gave me Vince's number, and I called Vince. And that's when Vince told me that he wanted me to come in because somebody that was very close to his heart recommended me and wanted me to come in and work with him. And he said, Andre the Giant. And that's when I went in 84.
Holy cow. Now, was I there? I think I was there when you came in. I'm not sure if you were
first. I think you were. Because they had that, let me see, the Titan.
Oh,
Tuesday Night Titan?
Yes. Mm-hmm. I'm not even sure if Piper's Pit was started yet. I'm not sure. We're pretty close to the same time coming in. You know, and so, okay, so this is 84. And then now, the Curtis Iakea. I don't remember. Yeah. I remember him barely being in the WWF for a while. Did you what happened? Was he trying to get you to lick the cookie?
Yeah, well, I tell you what happened. You know, the only thing I ever did was just drink. And Curtis was trying to get me to smoke some of the doobie. He called it the doobie.
Yeah.
So anyway, they kept on him and Steve Lombardi. They were always asking me, get a hit of the doobie. It ain't going to hurt you, James. Oh, come on, James. And so finally one night I was working with Hogan at the Nassau Coliseum in the main event. And we was on our way there. And they told me, just get your little hit. You'll be fired up when you get there.
Oh, gee.
So I got a little hit of that thing.
Yeah.
And I was so high when I got there. I got in the dressing room, and I was trying to paint. I was seeing 2, 3 heads, and I didn't know which one to paint. And so Steve Lombardi, what he did with Kimchi,
Kimchi, that's right, Kimchi. Go. So you're seeing 3 heads.
Yeah, so I couldn't paint myself. So Steve Lombardi got my paint and put about 3 stripes straight down my head. And I was looking kind of like an Indian when I did, but I must work good. I heard Hogan never complain about it.
You were right. You know, and that's where I was referring to, like that little girl in the crowd. It was just, you were just such an awesome force coming there. It made for a great opponent for Hogan. Hogan being a big boy, they had to run people through him. I think, did Hogan tip you off about you need to, so people wouldn't steal your money, you need to get your money first? Or there's some kind of a story where Hulk took you aside and to tell you to get your money. How does that work there?
Yeah, well, we was in Philadelphia one at the Spectrum, and Hogan told me, look, hey, I'm getting my money, and I hope you're getting yours because you putting asses in the seat, too.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah, that's what he told me.
So then he was taking care of you. You still a little bit. You still kind of like a brotherhood. Gorilla Monsoon. What did Gorilla do in Stooge because you tried to wear sandals?
Yeah, after so long, my feet had started to hurt me. And so I went to the ring one time with some sandals on because, when I was in Africa, I saw him wearing sandals over there. So I went to the ring with some sandals on. And the Gorilla Monsoon told Vince. And Vince sent word by the next agent to tell me to put take those sandals off because it don't fit my gimmick. So I had to pull them back off. And
I might have had to say, I'll take the sandals off and get some fluffy bunny slippers. It's not your feet hurting down there. I can't imagine wrestling barefoot. Or just in each arena the way they were. There were some really raunchy arenas.
I know.
Yeah, I know. And like going down barefoot is very difficult. But that again, you go back to they like to control you a little bit. They like
right.
But as you went along, and again, Kimchi, what a great name for
Yeah.
For your sidekick and Dr. Harvey Whippleman.
Right.
Which one did you like the best out of the two of them, as far as being your manager?
You mean out of Kimchi
and Harvey?
Well, I like that Kimchi. I think I like him the best, but they both were good for me, though.
I hear you. They're both. They both had your best interests in there. Do you feel that?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. They're both pretty good men.
They helped me to take care of my gimmick. They helped me to take care of my gimmick during that time. Yes, they were good.
Nice. So then, 84, and then I remember you being in there, and then I took off in 87, I think, but when you were working with the Undertaker? What year are we in now? About
that was 92.
WrestleMania 2. Okay.
No, 92.
Oh, 92.
Yeah, 92. SummerSlam 92.
Gotcha. I didn't get a chance to see that. How did that come down?
Yeah, I think it went good. Undertaker being such a nice guy and so easy to work with. So yeah, I think it went real well.
You two in the ring together, it's like, I wouldn't even want to be the referee. I'll just buy me a ticket on this one if you don't mind. What's the most fun that you had in your career, and where? What's just like, where were you the happiest?
I was the happiest in Louisiana for Cowboy Bill Watts.
Cowboy Bill Watts.
I was so happy. Yes, I was Mid-South.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. And the miles weren't old to you because you'd never done them before. Everything was new. Everything was new. I can remember that. Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool. Okay, so then, tragedy, huh? And 92, excuse me. I relate with you so much that I know what pain is. There's different kinds, and I know all the different types of pain there is. I'm trying to get this out here. I love you. You were driving in a car, or rather, you were at the WWF and you get a message. And there was a tragedy. Could you?
Right. That was in 93. I was in Oakland, California. I remember it real well. I was in Oakland, California. And when I got back to the motel, the motel clerk told me that, hey, you need to call home. Your sister got killed in a car wreck. And I thought maybe that was my knee baby sister, because she drives so fast. But when I called home, it was my baby sister. Her husband had shot her. Yeah, she was sitting on the floor rolling her hair, and her husband shot her right through her left eye, I think it was, and with a 30-30 deer gun.
Sir, just a second. She didn't die in a car accident? She was shot?
Yeah, she was shot. Yeah, and the daughter, which was his little stepdaughter, she was 16 at the time. And she ran, but she ran in the closet, which was right there at the bedroom. Uh-huh. And she was squatting down with a purse on her arm. And he walked in with that gun and stuck it right to her forehead and shot her, killed her. When they found her, she was sitting squat down dead in the closet with a purse on her arm. Yeah.
Did they ever get the guy that did this?
Oh yeah, he turned around and shot himself. He stuck that gun up under his chin and shot himself with that same gun, and the bullet came out through the top of his head, and he didn't die. And so he stayed in the hospital. It blew his nose off, one of his eyes out, and his top lip off. And he was in the hospital for I don't know how long. And after he came out the hospital, it took me a while, but I had him arrested. And he did time in prison. He did life, but he died last year.
He died last year.
Yeah, he died last year.
And that was your little sister, the one. The one you protected.
Yeah, my little baby sister.
How did you handle that, man? I don't know.
It was so hard. I was with the WWF at that time, and so I called him up, and I called Louis, and Louis told me, "So don't be calling here this time of night." I said, "I just wanted to let Pat know. Well, don't be calling here this time of night because everybody dies." So that's what Louis told me. So anyway, I called Vince's wife, and she told me to go ahead on home, do what you got to do, and I let Vince know. So anyway, I came on home, and we took care of everything, but it was hard on me. And after I got back to the WWF, which was about a week later, they gave him a notice, and I remember me saying to myself, "I've lost my job and my sister and niece."
Whew.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ouch.
Yeah, that hurt.
How did you stay on your feet, champ? What did you do to occupy yourself? What was your next move?
My next move was I started driving truck. I started driving truck back in 1970 before I ever got in the business.
Gotcha.
But I went back to driving truck after that. Yeah.
I love you so much, man. You have a book also. You have a new book out, and you have with this, the Harvey Whippleman. Do you have a funny Harvey Whippleman story that I know there's a famous one that he got on you? Does that ring a bell for you?
He get on me.
Harvey Whippleman, was he messing with you, or I can't remember how the story goes. There was a funny story with Harvey.
Yeah, I don't remember that one. I don't know if it's the one or not, but we did so much, just us three. It did so much ribbing one another. But I remember once, Vince told him something and told him not to tell nobody. He told him, "Don't tell nobody." So he told Steve Lombardi, he said, Vince told Steve, he said, "Now, I want you to let me know if Harvey tell you anything." So Harvey came right on and told me and Steve Lombardi. And so Vince came to him, he said, "I thought I told you not to tell nobody." He vomits. He vomits all over everything. See, when he get excited, he vomits.
He vomits.
Yeah, anytime he get excited, he vomits.
So did you guys just like run around and go like, boo, boo, and boo, puke, boo, puke? I didn't know that. I'd heard it, but I'd never heard it like first person. I didn't know that he threw up every time he got excited. But but what a wonderful gimmick.
Oh yeah,
you must have had a blast with that. Shoot. Doggone it, the hour's gone by so fast. Kamala's got a new book out, and it's coming out, and it's one that you need to get. Just from hearing the gentleman that I've been speaking with, he's wonderful, and I'll put a bumper in here and tell them how they can get the book and all that. I remember you in the dressing room, and you're like one of the kindest gentlemen I've ever seen in dressing rooms. I've been in a lot of them, and you're just a wonderful guy. I understand that that life sets you back a little bit with. You got diabetes, I heard.
Yeah, I have diabetes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, I lost my legs. Yeah, so it's first with my toes.
Yeah.
And then they took my foot off, and it wouldn't heal. Then they had to go above the knee, so I don't have a knee. And then they did the same thing to the right leg.
Gotcha.
And now I'm on dialysis.
Gotcha, bud.
Yeah.
Love you. Stay strong. You're one of the great for what you did. Probably the greatest at what you did. The way you kind of bent your head around like a snake, and then you stop. You'd start pounding that belly and that half moon on it, and you had that spear. It was almost like, why do you come to the land of the Zulu? You're one of the finest men I've ever met, and I love you with all my heart. And
the same here.
Thank you. I wish you all the love in the world, and if we could do this again, if you had time, there's so much I didn't cover. I would love it. And the book,
anytime.
It's a must-go get, and I'll put the bumper in here with the name of the book. It's not out yet, but it's going to be out soon. And the book is about a real fine gentleman called James Harris, a.k.a. the Great Kamala. I love you with all my heart, bud.
Man,
if I was there, I'd hug the shit out of you, man.
Well, you always did every time we saw each other.
Yeah, because I love you. God bless. We'll see you next time as we wind it up on Piper's Pit with the Great Kamala.
Bye-bye.
He don't need a manager. It's the best interview I've ever heard. And ladies and gentlemen, the Great Kamala, he's got a book. He's trying to get it published. It's a project date release in October. He needs a little help from the fans and me and everybody else that can help a wonderful man like that. And the way that the fans they can pre-order the book because they can't get it published. They need funding to get it published. And if you would go to Kickstarter campaign, all you do is you just go to Kickstarter.com and then search for Kamala Speaks. Boom, he needs a pre-order of 425 books to collect enough revenue to get its first printing out. And that's nothing, 420. You just got to pre-order it. He's great guy. The attitude he has about life with what's happened to him, please go to Kickstarter. Please look and pre-order Kamala Speaks on Kickstarter.com. Not only are you going to love it, it's the right thing to do. And with that, that's one of the strongest Piper's Pits I've had in a long time. So take care, Kamala, and I love you all in an old Irish poem again. For those who love us, may God bless. For those who don't, may God turn their hearts. And if he can't turn their hearts, may he turn their ankles so we recognize them by their limp. Ow! See you next week. Ah.